Gather up your projects, settle in your favorite spot. It's time to stitch with Sarah at her stitchy Camelot. Let's celebrate each other, this community we've got. It's time to get down to Sarah's stitchy spot.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah. Welcome to my FlossTube channel, where we will discuss and celebrate all things cross-stitch. Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and join me
at Sarah's stitchy spot.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is FlossTube number 28. It is Thursday, July 27th, 2023. I am filming it one day later than I normally do. But we're here, and I want to welcome each and every one of you to my FlossTube channel. As I do at the beginning of every video, I want to thank my husband, Stan, for writing and performing the intro song that you just heard. If you are new to this channel, I hope you will like what you see, subscribe, ring the bell, share, and do all the things that we do on FlossTube. For my returning subscribers and viewers, thank you so much. Your comments, which I haven't quite finished, but I will. I always do. They were just so kind and celebratory for my first year of FlossTube. So thank you all so much. You are filling my cup to overfloweth, shall we say. So I have a lot of things to talk about before we even get into the stitching. So I want to get started right away. And the first thing that I want to talk about is that I had, while I was over in the Bay Area, the most lovely visit with Carolyn and Anna of Curious Crafters on FlossTube. Now, if you guys aren't watching them, you need to. They are, first of all, they're incredible women. They're inquisitive. They're curious about this craft in a way that makes it very interesting to watch them and see how that they work through their projects and make decisions about their projects. They are sisters and they are math teachers. So I don't want to give away, I'm going to let them talk about why we met up in detail. But Stan did do some woodworking for Carolyn, and she came over to pick up what he had done while we were in the Bay Area. I think we pretty much talked nonstop for about 3 hours. It was, it is the most delightful thing in the world to have that face-to-face time with someone that you have watched. I have watched them since they began their FlossTube. They did bring me a beautiful project bag, and I have to show it. I have Feast of Friendship in this because I think these colors look autumnal. But look at the lining inside this. Anna made this, and look at that. Is that not just exquisite? I am so proud of this. Thank you so much, Anna. And again, I just want to say what an incredibly lovely visit we have. So I encourage all of you, if you get a chance to meet up with each other or meet up with other FlossTubes at your local needlework, to open that door and just walk through it, because it's just magic. So thank you again, Carolyn and Anna. They also brought shortbread cookies from California inside that bag, which there's not even a crumb to be found of those because Stan and I took care of them. So please go over and check out their FlossTube. It's Curious Crafters, and it's Carolyn and Anna. So that was just a huge, wonderful highlight of the time that I spent over in the Bay Area. Now, I have some shares that I would like to do of pictures of needle cross stitch that people have sent in. And the first one is from Linda. And I just will probably roll this through as we're talking. But I had sent a thank you to Linda for some Happy Mail. And in that the thank you, I sent one of the Hands Across the Sea cards that have the picture on the back that you can cross stitch. It's usually a smaller part of one of their samplers, and she stitched it and she sent her finished product to me. And so I hope you guys enjoy seeing that. And thank you, Linda. I was just so touched that you took the time to stitch it. It's beautiful. It's really why I bought those set of cards when I was at the attic, because I just thought it's just a beautiful piece, and I do want to stitch it as well. The second one is from Kathy. She is on Instagram, and she had done a fully finished project with the little red schoolhouse pin keep with a bit of a twist, because she did it in what looks to me like black, and she made it as a gift for a teacher. And I'll put the picture of that across, and it is just exquisite. And thank you, Kathy, for sending that to me. Next is Repro Rebel on Instagram. She sent me a finished piece of a hummingbird, which is just lovely. And you guys know my fondness for hummingbirds. And she had found this, I think she said back in the 90s, but it was out of a Leisure Arts magazine. And she also added some kind of sparkling blending filament in the wings just to kind of spice it up. So it's also a beautiful, beautiful piece. And finally, Susan sent me her progress on Ursula's sampler. And you know, this is a piece by Samplers in My Attic, a piece that Jean Lee of the Attic owns. And we have all fallen in love with it, and so many of us are stitching it. Susan is stitching this on a 46 count marbled bunny by XU Designs, and she's using burnt orange Tudor silk. So I'll run that across, and is that not exquisite? Aren't we just a bunch of wonderful, talented stitchers? I just love to be able to share these things with all of you. And okay, so the next thing is, I debated whether to bring these two things up because what I ultimately want to do is send you over to the FlossTubers and have you watch these. But in the last 2 weeks, I watched a couple of FlossTubes that touched me so much. The first one was Heidi of Stitching Faye, and you if you're not watching Heidi of Stitching Faye, you should be, because she is a prolific stitcher. She does all kinds of projects, mirabilias, samplers, just gorgeous stitching. But this particular episode is her and her older sister, and that's all I want to say about it. Her sister does stitch, and they were showing her projects. It was so beautiful to see their relationship. And it just go and watch it. I know you'll enjoy it. I know you'll enjoy the stitching, and I know you'll enjoy the relationship. The second also has a relationship that was so beautiful, and that's Lisa of Lost in Stitches. She, again, I don't want to give too much detail because I want you to go see it for yourself, but she did have a big finish of a piece that she was doing for her husband. And she timed it out where she had a little film segment that she inserted of Paulo finishing, putting the last few stitches in the piece. And so if you go and watch it, you'll get the story behind it. But it you know, we stitch and we're wonderful and we're great, but sometimes those glimpses of beautiful relationships between people are not to be missed. So I just wanted to encourage you guys to go check that out. Two other well-known FlossTubers that I just wanted to mention. Carol Saltbox Stitcher did a wonderful whip parade. It's just inspirational. that's all I can say. And so I can't imagine that many of you aren't watching her, but if you're not, you should be. She does beautiful sampler stitching, just beautiful stitching. So I encourage you to go watch that. And then Jody of Trixie Tricycle, I don't know how I missed it, but this FlossTube went up a month ago, and I described it to her in a comment. It was like finding a $100 bill in your pocket in a winter coat. I watched it this morning. Her stitching is so amazing, as is her linens. And as you all know, she has started dyeing her own linen about 6 months ago, and I think it's thriving and doing well. But her stitching and the pieces that she's finished and are working on, again, are well worth a look-see if you aren't. There was also 2 new FlossTubers to me that I wanted to mention, and one was Barb of Stitch Brat Brew. She did her first FlossTube. It was a type of whip parade. She does beautiful stitching. She had one that was sort of a block color piece of Martin Luther King that she's working on that is just stunning. But I encourage you to go over and take a look at her, give her the welcome that I know you all can, and subscribe, and just send her your love. And the second new one was Katie of So Tattered. Katie is just delightful. She does quilts, she does wool applique, she does, and of course, cross stitch. But she's got a smile that'll light up a room. And so I encourage you to go over and say hello to her and welcome her to the FlossTube community. Now, the last thing that I wanted to mention, actually, you know what? There's 2 things I want to mention. Barry of Stitch Folk. Amazing, amazing Barry. She has now made possible that you can buy t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, long sleeve shirts with these incredibly gorgeous cross-stitch artwork on the front. Please, if you feel so inclined to get one of those, make sure that you are getting it from her Etsy shop, Stitch Folk. I know that she is working on getting up a website, but her work was stolen by, I think, more than one site. And that's just heartbreaking. I know how hard Barry works, and you guys know that's wrong. So I just wanted to put that out there. Make sure that you do, if you do get those products, that you get them from her Etsy shop, or watch for her on Instagram. I'm sure she'll make an announcement when she goes live with her website, which will probably be the safest for her, her intellectual artwork. So, okay. And then finally, Annie, the Proper Stitcher, had a big announcement in her last FlossTube, and she is designing. And so again, I encourage you all to go over to the Proper Stitcher and see her works that she has designed. She has original samplers, she has reimagined samplers, and she has her own, her own designs. But what is interesting about Annie, and there are so many things interesting about Annie, is that she is kind of looking at samplers in a smaller way, so that they're, more of a smaller bite that some people can dip their toes in and get and feel that accomplishment of finishing an original sampler. So I encourage you to go over and again welcome her and make her and let her know that her designs are beautiful. And we're just so happy to have one more designer in the world. So, okay. Now, I think that was all the news I had. I will be looking at my notes. And the other thing that I might do today is I might take a drink of water every now and then, because I am in air conditioning, thank goodness. And I do feel so thankful to have that. but it still gets warm in this room because I do open up everything so that I have good lighting. So we will now go into what I usually do. I'll show you, I've got a couple of finishes. I want to show you something that I finished previously. And then, you know, the laundry basket will make an appearance. So let's get started. I have a piece that I wanted to show you guys that I had finished previously, and that is Friends and Family. This was from what was called Linens and Things at the time, but of course it's Fox and Rabbit. I started this in June of 2020, so you know, right there in the pandemic. I stitched it on a 36 count, let's see, Ivory Even Weave by Fabric Flair. I have not put the initials in. I use DMC 106. So I don't know. I don't know what exactly I'm going to do with it. At one time I had thought about putting the initials of directors and actors that were mentors to me when I was doing theater. I thought about that, but it to me is pretty lovely just as a standalone. So that is, and this was one of the free stitch-alongs that Brendon of Fox and Rabbit gives us every year. And thank you, Brendon, for all your wonderful designs. So that's Friends and Family. And it took me about a year to stitch it. I think I finished it in May of 2021. Okay, so that's the previous finish. And then, oh, and just, you guys have seen this, but I have to show it off. I just want you to see how incredible a random act of kindness can be. You know, this is the piece, Eva Rose, that it was Myra Dunn, 1922, designed by Christina of Whilst Iris Naps. But this random gift from Teresa of Jersey Girl Stitch Company, look how perfectly it matches. I realized it after I showed these to you guys, and I am just, oh, it just makes it so special. So again, thank you, Teresa and Anna, for those pins. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. It goes in my dough bowl back there. Okay, now, I had two small finishes. As you guys know, I may have mentioned, if I did my plans last time, that I was trying to do a pretty heavy Christmas in July. And so I did get this finish. Unfortunately, they're the smaller ones, but this is from this Prairie House Schooler number 28, Stockings and More. If you guys remember, I do have one of these stockings that was gifted to me. So I have everything I need to do one of those. And I completed this one. It was the little sampler. I know my 739 kind of ghosted out there, but I'm going to leave it. So I need to get that finished up into either a little pillow or an ornament. And then I will show you my second finish, but it is on another, it's with Holiday Rooster. And so I'll show that finish when I show that piece. The other thing that I did, which is very different for me, I am going to start really taking 1/1 seriously. So if you guys remember, I had misplaced Vince's stocking on the 28 count linen piece that I purchased originally to stitch that on. And I'm not going to rip it out. I'm just going to leave what little bit I had done. I have replaced it with a 14 count just white Ada. And for for those of you out there, of course, you've got to stitch on what makes you happy, but for stitching with 2/1, as you do on 14 count Aida, I actually realized that I prefer the Aida over the linen for this stocking. So I'm thinking, you know, it's the cosmos working, but it may have worked out for the best. But then I thought, you know, I've got a lot of this 28 count blue linen. So I pulled up Jean Farish's FlossTube number 16. I really encourage any of you that are looking to develop and to improve your 1/1 stitching to go and take a look at that. And I picked a letter off of you know, one of the random, and I started working on 1/1. And this was the letter that I did. Let's put something behind that. And I was pretty pleased with it. So I'm really trying to work at it, because, you know, I've got 1/1 to do in Sarah Milthrop. I've got 1/1 to do in Ann Campion, and I want to do it well. So and I feel like I have a lot of love and encouragement and support from all of you guys. So anyway, I would encourage you to go take a look at Jean's FlossTube number 16. And she goes over it in great detail, and she does it very well. Okay, so that is one of my finishes and one of the things that I was working on. So I think it's time to dive into the whips, which are works in progress. So I will also show you my planner, like I always randomly remember to do. I don't know that it's stickered any more than. But as you guys know, we were in the Bay Area for 2 weeks since I've seen you last. And so that is the stitching that I've done. Okay, so let's get started. My first one is Simple Life by Teresa Kogut. This is one of her Patreon charts. It is a stitch along. A mystery stitch along. Now she has released this part and I think one other one, but she allowed instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, she a lot of people wanted to do the house, finish the house, so she released that one one ahead of the other. I am stitching this on 36 count overcast by Cedar River Linens by Jody that I just mentioned, and I'm woefully behind, but I'm going to keep, you know, plugging away. I'm sure there will be some dangling threads. I'm trying to work on that a little for you guys. So I mainly concentrated in this area here and bringing over the border there. Let's see if you guys can see that. But I love those flowers. That outline is a red currant, and it is. But as soon as I can get this, I can start working and start the house. I love to do houses. I don't know that seriously that I've done that many, but I know I love to do them. So that is Simple Life, and you can. She has a hashtag Simple Life Sal, where you can see everyone's progress. And I've got a big old piece of overcast, so I will be able to use it to stitch some other piece on that. So that is A Simple Life by Teresa Kogut. The next one, and you know what? I'm gonna stop here. I may not have all the details, but I will put it below. This bag is a joyful stitching bag. I actually won it. I'm pretty sure from Sherry, Colorado Cross Stitcher, a long time ago. And shame on me for not showing this gorgeous bag. And it also came with this darling little Notions bag. yeah, it's Joyful Stitching. I will link all the information down below. She's got her card right here. And look at that. Even the Notions bag has a little vinyl as well. They're exquisitely made. And like I said, shame on me. I don't know. I know I've moved things around in it and I forget. But you guys know I forget. So, I mean, there's that. This is now housing my Blue Flower Seasons of the Heart Summer. As you know, I started well, I'm not calling it a sale, but I started a little project for all of us to try to stitch from the Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher magazine, to stitch smalls so that we would have them for gifting, for random acts of kindness, just to put in our dobos, whatever. But and that's hashtag Stitch Smalls from PNPS. And I am stitching this on 36 count Sandcastle from Color and Cotton. And I'm using mostly the called for DMC. Oh, let's look at the chart. There we go. There we go. It is so sweet. And so many of you guys have stitched this. So many of you have actually done the whole series. So this is what I got done the last time I played. So I was working on these strawberries. So I brought that down, got this urn, and that's about as far down as it goes. So that's what I've gotten done so far. And again, this is Seasons of the Heart Summer by the Blue Flower. And I just love it. Love it, love it. Okay. Next is there's going to be, you know, a few Christmas pieces here because I've been trying to stitch as much as I can Christmas in July. And so this is Christmas Delivery by Cottage Garden Samplings. And I am stitching this on 36 count Eucalyptus by Fox and Rabbit with the called for DMC. And so I got a lot more of his coat done. Got the bling around that. It's just a delight. I'm not really seeing it get finished by Christmas, but I'm trying. So that's Christmas Delivery by Cottage Garden Samplings that I am working on specifically this month for Christmas in July. Then next is Feast of Friendship. This was a piece that I started when Barb of Lost and Floss started hashtag Leanne's Legacy to honor Leanne. Her birthday was on August 24th, and and she suggested that you stitch something fall. You didn't have to, and it was the perfect opportunity for me to pick up Feast of Friendship. And this is now living in my new beautiful bag from Anna and Carolyn. This is, of course, a Blackbird design. And someone I just watched was going to start this. It could have been Roberta or Lenny with the Sable Stitchers. Okay, and I am stitching this on a 36 count vellum by Picture This Plus. I'm using the called for overdyed floss, and this is my progress. So what I did this time is I worked here. I took this border down all the way. That's the height of it right there. So So there's still quite a bit of fill in, and there is a house left, but the colors are so beautiful. And I really, really love stitching on it. So that is Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Designs. And again, that is to honor Leanne, who passed, but she made floss tubes with Barb, called Lost in Floss. Okay, next is, I did do dark 13th stitching. I think I did it on the 14th, but I did it. And of course, I worked on Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. For those of you that may be new today, I had a pretty epic fail with this. I had made so many mistakes that the alignment was to me unfixable, and so I just turned the piece of fabric upside down and started over. And I'm approaching it from a totally different way, so I feel like it's brand new. I am making sure that I have a border. I'm going to get this banding. I'm going to have all these anchors, hopefully that will keep me on track as I stitch, because I love it. So there was initial heartbreak, but quickly overcome with resolve to carry on. So I am stitching this on 36 count Endora by Needle and Flax. I'm using Vicki Clayton Silks, which is another reason. I'll just flash for any of you that are new. That's kind of how far I'd gotten. Kind of far, huh? But it was so destroyed down here. I mean, nothing lined up. So Angie, the Tiny House Stitcher, has offered, if I bring it to her, she will do something with it, which is, that's kindness. But let's look at my progress. So what I have done is I'm going across with these bandings, all the bands, and making sure that they line up. The border met, and I just adore this fabric. It's just beautiful. So that was what I did for my dark 13 stitching on the 14th. Okay, so that is Away We Ride. My next piece, which again is Christmas, and I gave this actually quite a few days. It is Christmas Rose by Blackbird Designs. This is the chart. I am doing this again to, it will house my mother's initials because her name was Eva Rose. So that is the chart. And I'm stitching it on 36 count Rend by Picture This Plus with the called for overdyed floss. And so this is where I am. So I've got, I did the deer. I have started down here. All of the I finished the banding here and all the alphabet up there. So that is Christmas Rose by Blackbird Designs. I just love stitching on it. Sometimes you almost wish, like you get going on it, then you think, if I didn't have anything. No, I don't wish that. Never mind. Okay, and then next is, I know I'm moving slow on this, but it's Vince's birth announcement sampler. And it is this pattern, which a lot of people have stitched. I have now made it completely his. His full name is stitched in. It's Vince Forrest. I always say that last name wrong. Did you see how I just stopped? Mazdeo. Oh, David and Eva, I'm so sorry. But anyway, and I will tell you what else I did. this arrow and that arrow had not matched. And they both should be one box lower. But I did take out the easy one and match it up with the end of that arrow. And I feel so much happier about it. So as soon as I get his weight and date of birth and that thing, I can get down to the critters. So I need to get that done. But it is definitely his. And it is in my Sock Monkey Made by Me project bag. Next, this was another piece that I so enjoyed stitching on and found myself adding a morning or an afternoon extra. And that is Merry Christmas by Crow's Feet Stitching. It is so beautiful. And I am stitching it on a 36 count ballet slipper by Fox and Rabbit, and I'm using the called for DMC, and that's my progress. So I got Mary completely in. The whole top is cross stitched. I started down here because I want to get that done because it's so fiddly and the letters will go fast. This one I could get done, possibly, if I just give it, a couple of sessions a month by Christmas. But it is so beautiful. So that is Merry Christmas by Crow's Feet Stitching. Okay. And then next is, well, this will have my other finish, but I worked on Holiday Rooster, a Holiday Rooster sampler by Hemlock and Rye. That's Julie, Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World. I am stitching this with a DMC 3051 and with a Soitagé 946. I am stitching it on 37 count Russian tea cake. And this is my progress. So I've completely finished this flower and I've started down the side there. The bird is finished as well because I don't think I had finished the bird before. Maybe I had. So that's Holiday Rooster by Hemlock and Rye. And then this wonderful gift that JBW, Judy with JBW Designs, sent me, this Christmas Ornaments 5 book. I finished Noel. So that is on this other corner. And there is my finish. Isn't that just so sweet? It's light and airy and delicate. And houses some mistakes, but you know what? I consistently made the same mistake, and so I left it. So, but that is Noel by JBW Designs. There's a little red bird sitting in the O. I even think I put a French knot for his eye, but that's kind of hard to see. So I can get that finished up as an ornament. I did get really behind and I'm not keeping up with the, an ornament a month. So there's that. This is my 7-day focus piece. It is Moonlight Sampler by the Blue Flower Design. And this is the piece. I think I have one more day this month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I need to give it 2 more days for this month. So I just had 5 days. And I am stitching this on a 36 count Grape Harvest by XG Designs, using the called for overdyed and DMC. And I did some work down in the corner. So this, is this a grouse? I don't know. I don't know my animals so good sometimes, but let's get this out of the way. I got a bee done. I started the cat, more of the alphabet, and I also took that lower border all the way across, and I did some work up here on this. I think this is all finished now, and then took this down a little bit. So that is Moonlight Sampler. I love it. I'm really looking forward to getting it finished. So that is my 7-day focus piece. I got that idea from Karen, the monogamous stitcher, and it has served me well. So this is my 2 stitches a day, or 2 threads a day. And I talked about last time that it shows you that you can accomplish finishes and get things done, even with just a little bit of stitching every day. And it is Ruskin's Penguins by Modern Folk Embroidery. I am stitching this on 36 count eucalyptus with the called for Roxy Flossco threads. There is a white and a black, I think it's chalkboard and weathered white. Let's see. Yeah, weathered white and chalkboard. And I am pretty darn close to having the border all the way done, all the way around. I just need to fill in some white and then bring this around right here. And I love it. I love the way the white pops on this color. So that is my 2 threads a day. Ruskin's Penguins by Modern Folk Embroidery. Okay. And then last but certainly not least are my, everything's falling out, are my Red Sampler Thursday pieces. So the first one that I will show you will be Ursilia Sampler. And this is the pattern right here. Some of you out there, and you know who you are, will be happy to see that the animals have been completed. I haven't done the bee in the middle of the chicken and the duck, but they are stitched completely. And I'm stitching this on 36 count, just the ticket. This is by Ursilia Sampler, is by Samplers in My Attic, and it is a piece that Jean Lee owns. So a 36 count, just the ticket, and I'm using the silk Belle Soie in the tulip colorway. And this is my progress. So the chicken and the duck are done. I also took this band right in here, is all the way over. So that is done. And I started the M down below. I'm not sure if I had done that when I saw you guys last. But I love those, I love that set of alphabets as well. So I just love this piece. So this is Ursilia Sampler by Samplers in My Attic. And it shares Red Sampler Day with Mary 395, which is a Bristol sampler by Hands Across the Sea. This is the pattern. We now know the cow has 4 legs. And I will tell you, someone was having, as I did as well, someone was having trouble finding the correction for the fourth leg. It's very hard to describe, but if you go to the website and you do the search for Mary 395 and you bring up the PDF, and then it'll say click here for the PDF pattern to purchase. And then there's, a set of boxes like description, thread guide, video, information, and there is a tab that says correction, and that shows the few stitches for the fourth leg. I know Sharon of Everyday Stitcher is also working on this. She and I are pretty close to the same place, but she has come over here and is working in this area. So this is Mary 395 by Hands Across the Sea. It is a Bristol sampler. I am stitching it on 36 count. Where is mine? There it is. 36 count antique ivory Edinburgh. I'm using Gloriana poinsettia primarily, and every once in a while I'll do a couple of things with holly berry. And this, so I have concentrated, I have stayed, kept my concentration in this lower corner. So as you can see, I got quite a bit done. I have, the bottom is going. I continue to just fill in these motifs. That is a word that does not come trippingly off of my tongue. And then, of course, this is the piece in its entirety. I can't show it all at the same time, but that is that gorgeous top alphabet, many alphabets, many letters, and then it just keeps going down. The cow has 4 legs. So that is Mary 395 by Hands Across the Sea samplers. And that is all that I worked on. My life has been a little different with the house sitting. I did get to see Vince just for a surprise one-day little visit this week. His mom and Vince came over to the little town very close to us where her father lives. And so we had a nice, lovely afternoon together. I probably didn't have as much stitching as I normally do. But let's see, I'm going to look at my notes. Okay, I just wanted to remind you guys about the 15% off that you can get at www.stitchinglane.com with the code Sarah, S-A-R-A-H, and you can combine that with a code free ship, which I'll put all of that down below. For any orders over $50, it's free shipping. I did go on the site not too long ago. Well, I mean, actually, I went on the site this morning, and they have a lot of 36 count fiber on a whim fabric, which is great. They're pretty well-rounded, have a lot of other fabrics as well that I think are primarily used more by quilters. But I encourage you to take a look. Oh, and she had a lot of Lady Dot Creates stuff, which, as you guys know, I will put chenille on anything, like Sarah from Sew Me Sarah. So just remember that, and I'll have all that information down below. As I mentioned, my haul, I did get the 14 count Ada to restart the stocking, and I have restarted it. I didn't show it because, again, it's just this blue banding across the top, and it's kind of boring. But as soon as I start getting some colors in there and it's more recognizable, I will share it with you guys every week, every 2 weeks. But this is, I did buy one chart. How could you not buy this chart? This is Always Forward by Amy, Mrs. Flossie. And if you see across the top, it's Words to Live By series #1. So they are going to be more. And this says Always Forward, Never Backwards. and that is for Jean Lee of the Attic. And what I think I'm going to do, so I'll start incorporating this into my plans. The prompt for the month of August for Cross Stitch Camp 2023 was to stitch something new, and I have never worked on a chart by Mrs. Flossie, and I am thrilled to start here with this chart. So I will be starting this August 1st. I think I'm going to do it pretty much like it is. I might try to put it on. I have a bit of that Russian tea cake legacy 37 count, and I'm thinking about doing that, and then picking a luscious. You know, I have that Wednesday. I'm pretty sure that was the color that. Oh, I'm going to get all confused. It was gifted to me. And I want to say it was Peg with the Beatles bag. But anyway, I'm thinking about using that. It's a Roxy Flossco overdyed cotton. So I can't show that enough. Amy, brilliant. Brava. It is just a lovely, and we will all enjoy stitching it. I think you'll have a lot of fun watching the finished pieces pop up on Instagram and other FlossTubes. So I know today is probably just a little shorter than I normally am, but I do plan to do a whip parade in 2 weeks. I am hoping there are enough laundry baskets in the little town of Sonora to get ready for that. But that is my plan. So over the next 2 weeks, here's what I'm thinking that I'm going to do. Obviously, there will be attention to Sarah Milthorpe, because I do work on a Hands Across the Sea of the first 7 days of the month. For the month of August, I will also obviously give 7 days to Moonlight Sampler, because it remains my focus piece, as well as 2 threads a day on Ruskin's Penguins. But as I prepare for the whip parade, what I'm going to try to do in the next 2 weeks is to try to touch a lot of the pieces that I have not touched probably since I did whip parade about this time last year. So that's kind of my plan. So it won't be a regular floss tube per se. It will probably just be a whip parade, because I have in excess of 50 whips, and I want to share those with you guys. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about doing things. So we will do a whip parade next time. So get your beverages and that really comfy chair and something lovely to cross stitch, and we'll get that up in 2 weeks. So I think that is everything here that I've covered. I did just want to send out again thoughts, concerns, love, keeping you in my heart for all of these extreme weather conditions that are going on in the United States and in the world. We are heating up, folks, and like I said when I started, I feel so fortunate that I can have an air conditioner. I cannot imagine going through this kind of heat without one. And that's a horribly first world thing to say, but it is. I know people have lost homes. There are a lot of heat-related deaths. And again, as a community, I'm hoping that we can keep all these people close in our hearts, as well as those that I mentioned to you last week or 2 weeks ago. They are still in need of everything that we can give them to uplift them and support them through things that they are going through with health issues. And so I'm I know you guys can do it because that's who you are. If you are new to this FlossTube and you did like what you see, I hope you will subscribe, like, ring the bell, and share, and do all the things that we do on FlossTube. Again, to all of those that are returning, and I hope you will keep writing comments, and if you have questions that you will ask them. They mean the world to me. It is the way I start my day. It is usually the way I end my day, reading them, and I feel so fortunate to have all of you in my life. So I think I have touched everything that's on the table. So I will ask you to grab your stitching, get comfortable, and stitch what you love. I love each and every one of you. Mwah. Bye-bye.